We're always told to manage our time better, right? So we can get more done, be more productive. But what if? What if we've been chasing the wrong thing all along? What if mastering our minutes isn't about packing more in, but about getting more out of life? Today, we're going to explore a really powerful idea. Managing your time is actually about managing your life. The writer Annie Dillard just nails it with this. How we spend our days is, of course, how we are spending our lives. I mean, just let that sink in for a second. It's so simple, but it's also incredibly deep. It reminds you that all those little moments every single day, that is your life. Each day is like your whole life in miniature. But let's be real. Does it ever feel like you're not the one in the driver's seat? Like your days are just spending you? You're just reacting, you're getting pulled in a million different directions, and then you crash at the end of the day thinking, where did the time even go? It's that awful feeling of being a passenger in your own life. So if we want to start taking back control, we have to start with a really basic question. What even is time? Let's forget about the ticking clock for a minute and dig into the mindsets that are secretly running the whole show. We've all heard it 1,000 times. Time is money. But what's wild is that studies show when we actually think that way, we end up more stressed, more rushed, and just less happy. Now, look at the other side. Time is life. This isn't just a nice little phrase. It's a total paradigm shift. Suddenly, time isn't some resource you have to squeeze every penny out of. It's the very fabric of your existence. The Roman philosopher Seneca figured this out thousands of years ago. He basically said we act like we have all the time in the world, so we treat it like it's cheap. We waste it. But the second you truly accept that your time is finite, that this is it, its value skyrockets. And that's not about being gloomy. It's about waking up and being truly present for the time you do have. And that brings us to the biggest excuse holding us back. It's a myth so common, you could call it the biggest lie we tell ourselves. Just think about it. How many times a day, a week, do you say it? I don't have time. But is that really true? Or is it just easier? A lot of the time, it's just a way to get out of making the tough choices about what really matters. It's an escape hatch from taking full responsibility for our one and only life. And this little lie has some pretty big consequences. Get this, a recent study found that a staggering 66% of employees are struggling with burnout. We are literally running ourselves into the ground because we're convinced we have no time. Something is clearly broken here. We need a new way forward. So what's the answer? Well, it starts with finding a new compass, a simple, straightforward framework to guide us toward a fuller life, instead of a more stressful one. Okay, this right here is the big mind flip. You can't actually manage time. It's going to pass no matter what you do. You have zero control over it. But you know what you can control? Your energy and your attention. That's the real currency. The people who truly thrive aren't counting minutes. They're managing their focus and matching their most important work to when they have the most energy. So how do you do that? How do you manage your energy and attention? Well, forget all the complicated apps and crazy life hacks. It all boils down to 3 simple, powerful words: prioritize, plan, and protect. First up, prioritize. And no, this is not about making a longer to-do list. This is about getting crystal clear on what's truly important in your job, with your family, for yourself. A really powerful question to ask is this: what is the one thing that only I can do? That little question cuts through so much noise and helps you zero in on where you make a real difference. Okay, so once you know what's important, you have to plan. This is where your intentions become reality. It's where you say, this matters to me, so I'm going to make time for it. You're literally creating a roadmap for your days and weeks to make sure the important stuff actually gets done. And finally, you have to protect that plan. And honestly, this is the hardest part for most of us. It means setting boundaries. It means getting comfortable saying no. Because here's the truth. Every single time you say yes to one thing, you are automatically saying no to something else. So protecting your plan is really about protecting what matters most to you. All right, so that's the big idea. That's the philosophy. Now let's get super practical. Let's look at a few simple tools you can use to put this all into action, like today. First up is a classic, and for good reason. It's called the Eisenhower Matrix. It is a brilliant little tool for helping you escape what they call the tyranny of the urgent. You know, that feeling of always putting out fires. This helps you see the difference between what's just loud and what's actually important. So here's how it works. You've got 4 boxes. The first one,
Urgent and important. That's for crises you have to do right now. But here's the secret to a better life: living in quadrant 2. That's the important but not urgent stuff. Think exercise, planning for the future, quality time with people you love. Those are the things you have to proactively schedule. Then you've got quadrant 3 for stuff you can delegate, and my personal favorite, quadrant 4, the distractions you just delete. Goodbye, mindless scrolling. And here are a few more quick tools for your toolkit. The 2-minute rule. If something takes less than 2 minutes, just do it. Don't even think about it. Time blocking. Schedule appointments with yourself for your most important work and protect that time fiercely. Breaking tasks down. If a project feels huge, just figure out the tiny first step and do that. And finally, grouping distractions. Check your email twice a day, not 200 times. And woven through all of this is one huge mindset shift. You have to focus on progress, not perfection. Seriously, perfectionism is just a fancy word for procrastination. It'll keep you stuck forever. Just keep moving forward, even with small, imperfect steps. Remember the old saying, done is better than perfect. And it's so important to remember that this isn't something you just figure out once and you're done. This isn't a final exam you pass. It's a practice. It's a journey, not a destination. And you'll be tweaking it for the rest of your life. The best way to make this stick is to build in a super simple weekly habit. Just take 5 or 10 minutes every Sunday. Look back at your week. What worked? What didn't? Where did you get sidetracked? Then use what you learned to tweak your plan for the week coming up. That simple little loop of reflecting and adjusting is what keeps you in the driver's seat. And that brings us right back to where we started, back to that simple, unavoidable truth. This whole thing, it was never really about productivity charts or color-coded calendars. It's about waking up to the fact that every choice you make with your time is a choice you're making about your life. So, really, it all comes down to one question. Your time is the only thing you truly have, and it's the one thing you can never get back. It is the currency of your one precious life. So, how are you going to choose to live?